Hey guys, welcome to What's Up Etown. It's Captain Ron, along with, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jamie Edgar. Jamie, how are you, buddy?
Oh, I thought you were talking about somebody else at first there. Probably owe you.
There's nobody else here, Jamie. It's just me and you.
This is going to cost me a fortune, all those compliments, I'm sure, eh?
100%, man. I'm looking for, what did we decide on? I think it was $5 every time that I say that.
Yes, because I was thinking it was 20. So yes, $5. That was
$5. Perfect. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. We're excited. We've got a great guest on today, a local hospitality legend. Very, very excited. Jamie, tell us who our guest is today.
So this guy, I'm not going to give the name away just yet. Come on, let's build to this. Let's build to it.
Build it up, my friend.
This guy, I've had the privilege of working with this person for almost 20 years now, doing karaoke and DJing weddings and all sorts of different events. Big Valley Jamboree, he's been the host out there for years. And some of you may know him as the Godfather of Bingo. That's kind of the latest title. Well, let's just bring him in, because you're going to know who it is, okay? This is a really good friend of mine. Here we go. Let's bring him in. We did it. It looks like Jeff Goldblum is here instead. That's confusing.
Jeff.
Oh, there he is. Scott Parsons.
Hey,
Scott Parsons.
How are you, my friend? How's things going?
Scott Parsons.
Friend.
What's up, huh?
What's up, Etown? That's appropriate. Very good.
It is. I'm changing my background. There we go.
You're changing your background. Yeah. Dun 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 da 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 da.
This is actually my.
Am I supposed to introduce you now?
Yeah. I should try to come through the curtain.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scotty Parsons.
Oh my goodness. Where's the applause track?
Yeah, we don't have that.
I'll add that. I'll add that in post-production. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Scotty, how are you, my friend? Of course, we've only known each other a short time, but it's been a good time, let me tell you.
Yes, it has. Feels like a long time. A very good long time.
A very good long time. That's exactly right. How's your life been, man? What have you been up to? Obviously, our lives all changed by this, I hate saying it, COVID-19.
Yeah, you're right.
What's new? What's happening? What's new with you, my friend?
Well, I'm spending a lot more time at home, obviously. It's my evenings have become far more free now in some form or fashion. But it's nice to be home. But on the same hand, no one likes to be told they have to stay there. So that's and I know we're all social butterflies, and we like to be out there and doing our thing. So no, things have been good when it comes to entertainment. Obviously, went from 100 to 0 very quickly, and but your co-host and myself, Jamie from Mr. Entertainment, but there, you're that way to me.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We're all over the place.
That was awkward. No, we started doing because obviously I do bingo tunes every Mondays at On the Rocks, and then Thursdays I was at Hudson's, so started a show there. And obviously no more shows. So it had been in my mind, how can we do this online? How can we do this in a video conference sort of world? Or is there any way we can do it Facebook Live? I was just bouncing around in my head. And I know Jamie was thinking the same thing. And we just sort of started talking. And he said, we're doing this. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing this. And then had to try to figure out the logistics of it. And as Jamie will attest to, I'm a logistics guy. He is too. But I'm trying to think about this. A couple sleepless nights were no word of a lie. I was trying to run it in my head. And it was, I woke up at 6 a.m. and I'm like booting up a computer, trying stuff out, seeing what's going on.
It was classic Jamie, right? Because it's like, we're doing this. I don't know how. Scott?
Yeah.
Can you figure that out?
How are we doing this? But like, absolute kudos to Jamie, and he came up with some ideas. I came with some ideas, and together I think we solved all of our issues or our hurdles pretty quickly, and we were able to run a test. I think actually, Ron, you were part of that test, and and then we were able to roll it out at the end of March, and it's been well received. Well, we've run every Saturday since the end of March, and we had a bonus show that we did with 95.7 Cruise FM, the locker room, Lachlan Crossing crew, and that was so much fun. But like Saturdays are now, it's kind of become our little tradition. We're not getting paid to do it, but it's like, there's lots of, it's a labor of love.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I've been on twice now, and me and my wife have had a blast time. Matter of fact, we were a little hungover on Sunday. I'm not going to lie to you. We felt like 18-year-old kids again.
Mission accomplished.
Right.
And that's the amazing thing. That's you know what I was really enjoying, and Jamie, I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I'm sure you've probably noticed it, is when you're out at the bar, you see people interacting and meeting new people, but you're sort of the main spectacle. You're the main focus of attention because you're up on a stage. But when you're in the Zoom environment, people aren't even watching the host. They're listening to the host, but so many people are like, I love the creativity of the lights in the background, the costumes and the backgrounds, and people interacting with one another. It's like, it's something we've never really encountered before, and it's very organic that it's happening.
Yeah, it is really cool. That's one thing I noticed about the show is that, and that you're right, like the people that are playing are the show, essentially, which is really cool. It's a really cool version. And I'm sure it's something both you and Jamie didn't expect from Bingo Tunes, right?
I didn't, for sure. Like I just speak quickly to the fact, Scott, when you started highlighting people and it became like the kiss cam, it was like being on the big screen at Rogers Place, and people would, this natural one-upmanship that people have had where it's like, oh, I didn't see that person. That person had lights or a horse head or a cat mask or whatever. And now there's this, like, these couples are trying to outdo themselves and with backgrounds and lighting and stuff. And it's really cool because Scott really was kind of the leader of that, because just the fact that he had the On the Rocks stage as his initial background, and then the Jeff Goldblum. So Scott, it's been cool to see how, you're right, how it's grown organically and people are trying to level up, right?
Yeah, exactly. And speaking to that, I mean, you've been doing Bingo Tunes, obviously a live show for a long, not that Bingo Tunes isn't a live show online, but in person. You've been doing this for, how long have you been doing the show for?
Well, a little history, I guess. I started in 2010 at the Druid, and one of the managers, Dan Cooper, he worked at a bar years before that had Bingo Tunes with a different host, but he was running Monday nights, and they had a trivia show that the host moved back to England. So they had a bit of a void there, and he asked me, he goes, let's do Bingo Tunes, and you should host it. And that's my best Dan Cooper impression. Very much like that.
Very serious.
But you know.
You didn't have a drink. You didn't have a drink in your hand, but it was pretty close.
True.
Well,
love you, Dan.
Very serious.
Love you, buddy. And so, but we just started it, and I'm like, okay, I'd never really I'd done it a couple times, but not as a show. But I used to be show development manager at Mr. Entertainment before I got a full-time day job, but we'll probably get to that later. But what I was able to, like, show development is, I very much enjoy that. So I'm like, okay, let's do Bingo Tunes. And I was handing out maybe 4 or 5 cards per round per week, and we're just working because it's Monday night, and they had wings, and they just wanted to promote that. But it just grew. I put lots of energy in. Staff and managers put lots of energy in. Regulars came out. There's people like everybody. We've all done those shows where everybody's all in, and all of a sudden it just grows and grows. And then when the Druid closed to reopen as Urban Tavern, they moved me over to On the Rocks, and so I got on the OTR stage, and I've kind of been there ever since. So I just celebrated, actually would have been Easter, would have been the 10-year anniversary of working with the Edmonton Hospitality Group doing Bingo Tunes.
Unbelievable. A round of applause for that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Jamie, to ask you a question, were you the manager at the time when he started his Bingo Tunes?
No. So Bingo. So I was on the scene, but as a host, like, I've been doing shows with Mr. Entertainment since 95-ish. So I was just doing karaoke, and then I heard about the Bingo Tunes coming along, but it wasn't like, it's not anything that I did or hosted at the time. It was actually, if we go back, I think like my first thought of Bingo Tunes was Mike Karsten, who's like, that guy's I'd have to say almost the original Bingo Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott took the mantle and recreated what that meant now. But this will tie us back, Ron, because we talk about how small the world is and those, like, the 6 degrees of separation. I remember Mike doing bingo tunes at Scruffy Murphy's. And
Scruffy
coining the phrase "I'll be your bingo buddy," but Scruffy Murphy's, so which is today is the Provincial.
Right.
It used to be Provincial Pub. Now they're just Provincial, and
Yep.
love that place. Yenny and Scott, love you guys. But so the Provincial's there now. But what else was that? It was Scruffy Murphy's, but it wasn't. It was Scruffy Murphy's a long time ago, but it was other things.
You know, I don't know what it was before. I worked at the King's Horse there, and I don't know if it was something before that. It could have been something before that, before my time, which it could have been. But I worked there when it was the King's Horse. That was an amazing place then. I mean, the place really hasn't changed over the years. I mean, it's the same kind of structure of room. They've moved a few things around. Main bar is literally in the same spot the Provincial as the King's Horse was. So.
Actually, you know what? I think someone pointed this out to me once, and I think this was the spot. I think it used to be a Blockbuster Video before it was a pub. And when you look at the outside, the arch, I think that was the spot. But
was that it?
It was.
But there was a Blockbuster Video. There was a Blockbuster Video in that complex. I remember it. So it could. You're right. It could have moved over.
Maybe
at that time, right? Yeah.
Well, I thought the Blockbuster was what the library is.
That was a movie theater.
Oh, yeah, right. You're right. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so that might have been a Blockbuster. Maybe we'll have to get Yenny. Let's see if we can get Yenny or Scott Martins on a call and ask them what the history of that building. But anyways, so that was my first memory of Bingo Tunes. I took over the company in 2012. So Bingo Tunes already kind of had a life of its own, and I didn't really do much to develop it, truthfully, up until the last couple of years, where I really started putting more effort into selling the show to other bars and stuff like that. And Ron, let's not be humble. You're no stranger. You hosted Bingo Tunes for a little while at Canadian Brew House downtown.
I did. So I enjoyed every minute of it. It was very, very fun.
And Urban Tavern, and Urban Tavern. I forgot. Yes.
Right. Yep. 100%.
So which we should start mentioning now is the cabin that opened literally for 5 days.
Yes.
Before COVID-19. So
yes. Very excited to get back there, though. They've got a really good team there, and can't wait to get back in that room and have some fun. I've got a new project that we're going to announce coming there soon, so it's going to be lots of fun for sure. Absolutely.
Actually, sorry, I'll add in. I think it was also it was Overtime South. It was Druid South. There was that Scruffy Murphy's room, and I think Dan Cooper was the manager when Mike Karsten was there, and so I think that was the connection that he actually brought forward to Druid. And on the other side of the Rona, in the same area where the Sorrentinos is, that used to be a Joey Tomatoes, and that's where Dan and I worked together. Actually, I
remember that world. Joey Tomatoes. Yeah,
small world.
Well, that's crazy.
Well, that's awesome, man. I know you're a huge entertainer. You're obviously a karaoke. You've got your own band, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Bingo Tunes, but you are a real person too.
Yes,
you have a real job, or as my parents used to call it, a big boy job.
Big boy job. Yeah. That's why sometimes on Monday nights when the show's done, they're like, "Can you just play some more music?" I'm like, "I have to get up early." And I'm like, I have a day job, and so Tuesdays can be a bit of a drag. I have a sit-stand desk, and I make sure on Tuesdays I'm standing because otherwise I'm laying underneath my desk. That's exactly what's happening. But yeah, no, I work for a foster care agency, and most people say, "What is that?" Like even my dad and my brother for 10 years have no idea what I do. They're like, "What? We don't even know what you do." So I hope they tune in and they can figure out exactly what's going on. So just a bit about foster care and agencies in that in the province of Alberta. Obviously, we have kids who are in care, and at some point they may need to be placed in foster homes. So foster homes are licensed by the province of Alberta. There's official licensing that happens. And then once they're officially licensed, then they need to be supported. And so they have an option of being supported by either a government support worker or a private agency support worker. So I work for a private agency that supports foster homes, and kids are placed by the government in those foster homes as a temporary placement while their families are working through what they need to work through, with the eventual goal of having the kids return back to their parents, because that's where they should be. But also we want to maintain as best as possible, some sense of normalcy while they're going through that. And also a big connection to culture. I know culture is a huge thing in our agency, and also recognizing the trauma that kids go through. You're both parents. Just imagine the trauma it would be as a kid if all of a sudden you weren't with your parents and you didn't understand why, or vice versa, you were a parent and now for whatever reason the government quote unquote takes your kids. So there's a lot of emotion, a lot of stuff being charged through there. So we have really amazing foster parents and really amazing support workers that come through there. So I'm an operations manager. I'm not a social worker, but I've learned a lot. I take a lot of training, so my eyes have been open to quite a few things. And I've been doing that since 2006, December 2006. So
wow,
quite a few years there too.
It's such a noble job, man. I applaud your work. Like that's amazing, man. It really is
Big
amazing.
time.
It is.
Big time.
It's fantastic
Well,
for sure. So how has this whole COVID-19 thing changed all that? Obviously is that we're all online, we're doing Zoom calls. Is that what's going on now?
Yeah. So what was happening previously is obviously our support workers, as a level of support, we're in the home once a month, meeting with the parents, making sure things are all good, that they're all good. They're having their own self-care as well as the kids. So we do a lot of note-taking, a lot of reporting. We do service planning. So we're used to being in the home once a month, and that's our expectation. And seeing the kids, like physically having a conversation or interacting with them once every 2 months, but obviously can't do that right now. We are still an essential service, and we would still go out if we need to, but it's an emergency sort of situation. I guess sort of we were working in an office. There's about 13 of us that work in the office. So the office is still open, but it is absolute skeleton staff where there's one person who answers the mainline phone, but everyone else is working remotely. And then we are connecting. We're actually using Zoom. That's primarily ourselves, but I know there's also WebEx or Facebook Live or Facebook Messenger. I know FaceTime, all that other stuff. We are we're using that video conferencing medium to have that connection in lieu of the home visit until we can get the go ahead and on a regular basis be out there.
Right. That's
Awesome.
Unbelievable, man. Still keeping it going while this is all happening, keeping in touch with the kids and finding out. You said, I can imagine it's different for the kids too. Like, it must have changed their whole thing. Do you find them more attentive, not as attentive? Like,
actually, it's funny because we serve, like, there's kids who are newborns all the way till just before they turn 18. Once they're 18, then a transition to adulthood. But quite often they stay connected to the foster homes if they've sort of aged out, as is commonly, that's a common phrase. But yeah, no, the kids now, it's funny. I'm hearing from some of the support workers that the kids are actually more engaged now. They'd be like, "Oh, who's on the phone? Where are you?" I feel like they are
awesome.
They're being engaged. They're getting this technology. And it's amazing. It's no replacement for having a one-to-one face-to-face, but it's an amazing medium to connect. And our support workers are doing a great job. Some of them, it's a steep learning curve. And some of our foster homes, they have a steep learning curve. Like they've never really used this before. And I think we take for granted our own knowledge base. Even just working in entertainment, we're forced to use computers. We're forced to use a lot of stuff and use these social media and all the other things in there. But some of these foster parents, they're on 24/7. They don't have time to work through some of this technology, and they're learning so quickly, as well as our support workers. But we just had a little town hall today, and we had 20 foster parents on there. We're talking through, and invariably some people know how to work it well, and other people, again, like the kids, they're trying to listen, they're trying to get real close. But I tip my hat to them. They're doing amazing work. And now they also have to teach. They also have the homeschooling component of it too.
Yeah.
So it's they're amazing people, and I'm very lucky to work with them. And they make my job very easy because they're doing all the heavy lifting, and our support workers are right there because we have an on-call that's on 24/7. And if there's a screaming match at 3 a.m. you got to work through it, and our support workers and our foster parents are there doing it.
Well,
That's
and Scott, the thing that's amazing is that you probably have a group of parents that are better on Zoom than our Canadian Parliament. And because those parents have people like you who can coach them through. I mean, you even had to help us figure out a couple things on Zoom. So, but unbelievable job that you do. Like it's remarkable. To have a job that is so important that makes a difference in lives. And so as your friend, I've known that that's been something that you've done, but I applaud you. I don't give you enough credit because that's just, it's phenomenal what you do, and the role you play with your team is awesome. And I happen to know some of the people you work with.
Yep.
And it's awesome. I'm really glad to be a friend of yours.
Yes. Well, thank you. And because you know those people, it's the agency was founded by essentially a beautiful lady, Sharon Bouchard, and she was executive director, and a lady has an amazing heart, and now her daughter is taking over, Michelle, and Michelle, you worked with her years ago, but Michelle carries on that torch, and she is an absolute incredible leader, and everyone who works at Pathway, it's a different feel, and as soon as I started working there, I had my job in the drive desk, sort of. We had to coordinate drives for kids, but the entire culture of it, I've never felt more accepted as well and valued, and it was incredible. And it's just I continue to work there because of that foundation and that leadership.
And so one more time before we move on, Ron, what's the name of the organization again, just so we all have it?
Pathways Family Services.
Awesome.
Thumbs
up to them.
That is absolutely incredible, man. I agree. Thanks for the work you do. So, I mean, we've touched on what you're doing for your day job. We touched on some of those other. I mean, what makes Scott? What's Scotty's passion outside of doing bingo tunes and karaoke? I mean, I know you have a band. I believe a volleyball. I believe is one of those things too, as well.
So yeah.
Am I correct?
I'll start there. Volleyball is an absolute passion, and that's probably an understatement. I would be playing volleyball in the winter at least once a week, and then once a month doing some sort of tournament where you play all day. My Apple Watch, I love seeing how many calories we can burn on there, because yeah. I'm not saying I do it well. I don't. I have a big passion, and I have a really good core group of friends as well as other friends. It's an amazing community, and so we were just transitioning. We were finishing our indoor season, and then we're hitting what we love the most, which is the outdoor season, the beach volleyball. And I would have been in a league. I would have been playing beach 2 days a week, and then we would do trips to Sylvan Lake for a tournament, and a Calgary for a 2-day tournament, and everything that was in there. I mean, we even had one of the players on our team. She was supposed to get married at the end of May. We were all going to go there. We were looking forward to playing beach volleyball as well as her wedding. I mean, it's hilarious, but she actually picked the resort because it had a decent beach volleyball net. And so I showed to her, like, she's so resilient as well, and just letting it bounce off her. But yeah, volleyball is huge. So right now I just feel myself getting fatter by the second. So I've decided I'm gonna try running. I hate running, but I'm gonna try it. I found some deals on Sport Check. I'm just waiting for Sport Check to drop off the stuff, and then I'm gonna try running. But I don't know. I'll be happy when it's over. But yes. So then the other passion is music.
Can we just stop for 1 second? I just wanted to ask you about the volleyball. Where did that start? Yeah. Did that start in did that start in high school, or did you do it from junior high? Like, where did that all start?
It was like the day after he turned 7 feet tall.
So I was 2, right? No, I actually had a bit of a growth spurt, probably between grade 6 and grade 7. I was 6 feet in grade 7, so naturally in high school, or in junior high, we were playing some volleyball. Again, very different than what I play right now. But then in high school, I think I played it for a couple of years, 2-3 years, and that was so much fun. And then I just hit post-secondary and just never really fell into it. And then I started doing drop-in at the Saville Center. That's an indoor court, amazing facility in there.
Better to be a drop-in than a drop-out, Scott.
Yes, yes. And then, so you just start meeting more people, and then you start getting together. And then I would play with ESSC for years. I played with the Edmonton Sport and Social Club. They're phenomenal. And I still do. A lot of the tournaments we do is ESSC. But then we started playing for the indoor, it's the Edmonton Volleyball Association. So that's a long season where you play a tiered league. So you can move up or move down. And there's different competition all the way from ex-college ballers that scare you to all the way to people just wrecking, having fun. So you move up or you move down. So you really fit into your skill category. And then we would also play Alberta Volleyball Association, which is the outdoor beach volleyball court. So that started in junior high and high school. Took a long hiatus. Started again about 5 years ago.
That's the league. That's the league that Maverick and Goose were in, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Do you guys oil up? Do you oil up as well?
Don't even get me started. Of course. No self-respecting volleyball player wouldn't oil up first.
Oh, my God. I almost started singing Playing with the Boys. Almost. Oh, I almost started singing it.
Oh, no.
I must say, though, it drives me crazy when I watch any sort of movies or TV where they're like, let's play volleyball. And you're like, what is that?
So actually, speaking of singing Playing with the Boys, is that one that your band does? Does your band cover Playing with the Boys?
No, we don't do that one. I'll add it to the maybe add list. We have a Spotify list, so I'll see if I can drop that in there.
It's not 90s. It's not 90s enough for you. What's the name of the band again?
The name of the band is Recall. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're moving on to band. Okay,
yeah, see that segue? We're pros at this.
This show moves fast, man. Hold on tight.
Yeah. The name of the band is Recall. I guess years ago I played in a band with 3 other Hungarian guys called Hindsight. Just a little side note. So it's HYNDSYT because they wanted that feel in there. And C Magazine, this is like early 2000s, mid 2000s. C Magazine labeled us the worst band name in Edmonton. And they said it was the biggest misuse of the letter Y since Bill and Ted formed Wild Stallions. So I was loving it.
I love it.
But then you guys were like almost ahead of the curve, right? Because then bands like or singers like Kesha with the $sign,
yep.
Or like hashtags in a song title, like so. I mean, I wonder what that magazine would say now about that name.
Oh, a lot of Y's. Still a lot of Y's. And
it's still a lot of Y's. Yeah.
We made C Magazine. That's all. We made a best worst list. I'll bring it.
If you're an Edmonton band, that's the mark. That's
the mark in the mid 2000s.
Yes.
But yeah, so years later, I wasn't in a band forever, and then actually, a guy I went to elementary school with, elementary and junior high. He's played in some like metal bands, and he was like, "Do you know anybody who would want to sing in a '90s cover band?" And I'm like, I said, "I'll look around. I know some people." And he's like, "Would you want to sing?" And so we just started jamming and just forming this group. It was originally Total Recall. We had a change of bassist, and then the bassist of Hindsight, the band I was in previously, he joined. So we a little connection to the previous band in there. But the drummer and the guitarist, one of the 2 guitarists, I went to elementary and junior high school with, so I've known those guys forever. And then obviously the bassist I was in a previous band with, and got to meet another amazing guitarist. He's American, but 2 of them are.
He's American, but he's okay.
He's American. No, but he's an import. Loves Canada. No, he's a super nice guy. And he has so many pedals, and he's just a phenomenal guitarist. Both of our anyone who plays in the band is very good, except for myself.
He's no Roger Mason though. Come on.
Hey.
Big
Roger is a perfectionist.
Yes.
Roger is a perfectionist. He's a phenomenal guitarist. Roger is an amazing guitarist.
We're gonna have him on and play, Jamie. We're gonna have him on. Roger and play a few tunes. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's a big good idea, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And 100%. Then my wife is also in the band too. So it's like we're a pretty big ensemble, but we do a lot of 90s covers, and we have a little asterisk that is mostly 90s covers, because sometimes you throw in some 2000s, or we touch on some 80s here or there, but mostly 90s. So a lot of like, and I'm singing stuff I've never tried before, like
That's
Raging
cool.
Machine and
All right.
Alice in
Wow.
Chains and Alice in Chains and there's a couple others I can't even think of it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun.
So if I Google the Big Shiny Tunes repertoire, is that Recall? Is that the band set list or what?
You know, funny story. I've been trying to convince and trying to put together one of our sets to just try and reproduce as many of the Big Shiny Tunes to songs, because that's the awesome. Essential '90s Canadian album is Big Shiny Tunes #2.
Yeah. So for all the kids listening, like 20 years old and up, Big Shiny Tunes and Much Music Dance Mix, those were classics.
Yeah.
Right, they're Googling it right now.
Figure that out.
What's that?
Oh, and like I think about like Spotify playlists now that are like 60 songs long. The Big Shiny Tunes was like 13 songs, and you had to listen to them.
That was amazing.
A couple there.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, Scotty. I think people have found it. Is there anything you can tell us that we haven't tapped into that you want to tell people out there about yourself?
About myself?
No? Yeah.
Now,
that they may not know.
Keeping in mind, we already know that you are Jeff Goldblum's long lost twin brother.
Yes,
other than that, what else?
Yes. That's a very good, very, 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 very good point here. Yes.
So the impersonation of Jeff Goldblum.
Oh no, it's bad. It's bad. I'm working on it though. Apparently, if I just talk normally, I talk like him half the time. So it's not even intentional. It just kind of happens. No, I guess. I guess a little shout out. I'm also into genealogy. Fan of that, right?
Tell us about that.
I'm a proud 5th generation Edmontonian.
Those are really big generations on that hand. Right? That's a volleyball player hand, right there.
Yeah, that's a volleyball player. And my great grandpa was the mayor of Edmonton, and so Parsons Road is named after him.
No way!
There it is.
And what was his name? What was his first name?
Mayor Sidney Parsons.
Nice.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's very cool.
If my wife is watching this is the point where she rolls her eyes. She's like, "He always talks about that." I'm very proud of it.
You should be.
No, that's very cool, man. That's a very distinct road in town. We all know where Parsons Road is. I'm almost positive. If you've been from Edmonton, you know where Parsons Road is. So thank you once again for coming on the show. We do a thing at the end of our show all the time. It is the What's Up Etown Top 3. We're going to ask you 3 questions. It's all about Edmonton. They're fun questions. Obviously, you've lived here your whole life. It'll be very easy for you to answer, I'm sure. The first question is, what is your favorite restaurant in Edmonton?
Favorite restaurant in Edmonton? Whew. My wife works for Chop Steakhouse, so I have to. That's definitely in there. Very
honorable mention. Honorable mention.
Now, open or closed?
Let's do both.
Okay, closed. Closed. One of my favorite was just off of White Ave, just past the ravine there on 82nd Ave. There used to be a restaurant called Unheard of.
I
amazing. That was an amazing experience. It was truly, you could feel, I think the head chef, she would grow her own herbs and vegetables, and she'd just cook it every single day. So that was amazing. Yeah, not like that, Jamie. But believe it or not, I believe it because I very much enjoy the food there, but I enjoy eating at Provincial. Provincial is actually, and not just because good friends of mine work there, not because we've been there or talked about it, but I love the menu there, and it's always top notch. So I very much enjoy it.
Shout out to the Provincial. I love it. Nicely done.
And I will say the sauce they serve their wings with is not just a normal sauce. It's amazing. I have to say that.
Heavenly for sure. Second question of the top 3 is, what is your favorite festival that Edmonton has?
My
surrounding
area,
not necessarily just.
I have to think about that. one that's obviously close to my heart and I've been doing for many, many years, but I've been able to hit it from the sort of side there is a Big Valley Jamboree. That's been part of, I think, now Jamie, probably correct me, I think maybe 2005 I started working there. And
15,
yeah, been out every single year working and able to work with Jamie and Mr. Entertainment, run the karaoke contest out there. And it's an amazingly run festival. And it's too bad that they weren't able to run it this year. I think it's obviously a lot of the festivals are leaving open gaping, like, what do we do? This is our idea. We're festival city.
Yeah.
We're festival city, if not a festival province, but definitely a shout. And Camrose. I mean, Camrose, they're an amazing city too. So I have to give a shout out to the Big Valley Jamboree, because it's been a big part of my life for many, many years.
Absolutely. I agree. I've been there lots of times and got to work there last year. So it was unbelievable time for sure. And the third question is, what do you love about our city? That's what this show is all about. Loving Edmonton. What do you love about our city?
What I love about this city is that we always rise above, and we somehow, this is going to sound weird, we shouldn't be here, right? We're one of the most northern cities, but yet we have the biggest mall. We have like the world's longest hockey game, the world's longest baseball game. We have hours, like in the summertime, it's like we don't need sleep. We don't even need sleep because we're up at the crack of dawn, which is 4:30 or whatever, like when the sun's coming up, and we're getting stuff done. This city has an amazing heartbeat and amazing people in it, and we don't just settle for just being a city and having people come to us. We create so much pride in the city. I mean, we have the Edmonton Oilers and the Edmonton Eskimos, and they are well-established teams, but we still have a baseball diamond in the middle of town. We have a beautiful river valley, and like, it's just, we shouldn't be here, but yet amazing things keep happening here because of the people who are in it, and we're always trying to reach higher. And that's what I love about Edmonton.
Absolutely.
Sounds like the next future mayor answering right there.
Do you want a job?
Hey, Iveson's a beast. We love Iveson, man. He's awesome for this city.
I don't mean to get political, but Don Iveson's been one of my favorite mayors of all time. So I think he's doing a fantastic job. Whether or not you agree with his policies or not, I think he's been a fantastic mayor and has made Edmonton better.
I agree. Definitely. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll agree with you for now. The situation now may be a little bit different, and I'm sure there's a few restaurant people that will disagree a little bit. So I'm going to put that out there that I think he's maybe mishandled a little bit during this time. But I agree with you. Before this point, he has been a fantastic mayor, represented, and been a flag wearer of our city for years, for sure.
Yeah, that's
Scott Parsons, thank you very much for joining us on the show, buddy.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jamie.
Scotty, take care, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Nice. We'll see you.
Awesome, man. Take care of yourself.
You too.
We'll talk to you again.
See you guys.
Holy, hey, what an animal. I love that guy.
Awesome. He's unbelievable, my friend. Unbelievable. Yeah. So
that was cool.
It was great having him on the show. Great learning all about him. I mean, I think we found some stuff out that I think some of our listeners will find really interesting. Like we said earlier in the show, you'll get to see these guys in the bar and talk to them a little bit, but you don't get in-depth conversations at the bar. It's pretty short little, because you're trying to talk to everybody and have fun with them and all that kind of stuff. So we got lots of great things coming up in the show, buddy. Lots of great things coming up.
Some guests lined up, right?
We do. Should we tease a couple of them? What do you think we should tease?
Let's open the door a little bit. Go ahead.
I had a conversation with Mr. Ken Reed from Sportsnet.
Sports. I miss sports. Oh.
I know, right? And he's going to talk to us about what's going on in the sports world, which is nothing.
Or what's not going on in the sports world.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
What's going on over at Sportsnet. He's got some great stories. He's met a lot of sports guys over the years, Wayne Gretzky, you name it. He's met a lot of sports people. So it'll be really interesting to talk to him. And I know you've got a guest booked.
We've got a couple wicked radio people, right? We got some long-time Edmonton radio people in Lachlan Cross. Lachlan Cross been a big supporter of the Bingo Tunes recently here at Cruise FM. And also not Kevin McHale, because he's
Adam
a basketball player.
Yes,
Adam
you betcha,
McHale,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
you betcha. From Now
he's
Radio.
coming on board as well. And then the other one that I can think of off the top of my head is this guy here. Well, not the banner, but Brett Sake, Dr. Brett Sake, the organizer of all the world's longest baseball games and more so the world's longest hockey games, which they're still scheduled to do another game this coming February in 2021. So he's going to be joining us here in the coming weeks as well. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And I just got off the phone with Lars Calahoo, a comedian in town, and he's going to talk to us. I'm sure he'll be one of our most hilarious guests. I'm really excited for that too as well.
No pressure, Lars. No pressure.
No pressure. You must be funny. Be funny.
Right on, man. Well, this has been a lot of fun today.
It has been a good time, my friend. Until next time, everybody, we'll see you again. On behalf of myself, Captain Ron, and Jamie, you take care, have a good day, and stay safe. And don't touch your face as much as I did during the show. I noticed that. Wash your hands, okay? Wash your hands. Take care, everybody.